Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. I actually had to think about that for a minute, especially with Beyond the Gates. I was like, like all the intros are starting to just jumble up together. But I want to start off with Lucas and Brad for a hot minute, okay? Because I feel like Lucas has some unrealistic expectations, and just let's put it this way: Brad is not my favorite character. Okay? He has done some stuff from back in the day that I just been like, ugh. On some level, I can acknowledge that he is trying to change. The problem with that is that although you're trying to change, in this case, he didn't really change that much, though, did he? He did, but he didn't. The whole blackmailing thing, right? The whole, oh, I want a favor here, I want something there, I want to go on a trip and stuff like that. It showed that he didn't change. Okay? Then you have to sit there and think about even before that, you have Portia that was on his ass. That was being nasty, condescending, damn near bullying and like abusing her power in a sense. You know, because of stuff that he did before she even got there. And I'm like, boo, you acting like you've never made any mistakes in life. Do you want people to sit there and keep dragging you for the things that you've done? So like you're being completely and utterly out of pocket. And she was being so obnoxious to the point I'm like, yo, listen, as much as I don't like what Brad, as much as I don't really like Brad that much, you the one that's being a hell of annoying in the situation. So he tells Lucas everything, right? And Lucas flips out. He's like, oh, I'm glad we didn't make a mistake. He just starts railing him and everything. I was gonna sit there and say reaming them out, but I mean it's it's a double entendre either way. But the point is, he starts getting on him about that, right? And this is where a bit of that unrealistic expectations. And this is something that Brad said before he left. He was like, listen, I tell you something, I'm honest with you, and you still are being harsh on me and pushing me away and everything like that. If I lie to you, it's like you want honesty, but you don't want honesty. You want honesty. You want him to sit there and tell you everything, but then when he does tell you, you want to punish him for it. At least you know what I'm saying? Like, I hate to say it, but at least he was honest with you. He was honest, and he told you, hey, listen, before you go any further, I want to sit there and get this out. This is where we can be on the same page, it's clean slate and everything. But instead, I also think he was so gun shy about the whole thing that on some unconscious level that he was looking for a way out. You know? So I'm like, if you wasn't truly ready, you shouldn't even have actually, started doing what you were doing in the bedroom in the first place. Because you clearly didn't trust him. And the first sign of something dirty, even though he's not telling you the truth, oh, I'm done. I don't know. I mean, I actually feel bad for Brad in this situation. You know? You want somebody to tell you the truth and they do, then it's like, you want to sit there and get upset with them. What do you want, Brad? I'm like, what do you want at this point, Lucas? Not to mention, on some level, you're either going to sit there and accept this man for his flaws, or you need to sit there and keep him moving. Now, Drew and Portia. Long story short, he starts to blackmail Portia. You know, bringing up the tests and everything like that she that she changed and everything like that, saying that she's definitely going to lose her medical license. If not, maybe be put in jail. Probably a bit of both. Who knows? You know? Because he's like, yo, listen, you're going to sit there and fix things between me and Curtis. And if you don't do that, your ass is grass. And it's just that simple. Alright, so in the preview, she was like, they're going to Abel. What the hell is Abel going to do at this point? Hmm? You made your bed, now you have to sit there and lie in it. When your husband finds out, which I thought he already knew, to be honest, I'm still confused by that. Then what's Curtis going to do? Get upset, stomp his feet and everything like that? He practically sat there and said F you and the horse you rode in on. You helped with Mike will sit there and take away the company. So, now he took away your wife's freedom and her American license. Oopsies. Um, Curtis is not there talking to Laura about that deal that passed and the other guy who made it go through and how Curtis is all happy and stuff like that, and he comes into telling Drew to hold this L. I'm like, okay. Speaking a little bit too soon there, buddy. After Lulu comes home to get her bigger jacket, well, she came there to see if Martin was there. Because if Martin's there, that means he's not at the hotel. And she does want to go to the hotel wearing a maid outfit. Maxie sees it and thinks that it's some sort of kinky fantasy. Um, it's actually not a bad fantasy, but ask her to be a lookout, aka an accomplice. Now, long story short, Maxie, Anna, and Emma were having dinner, and Anna wants Maxie to hire Emma as a intern. She's good with chemistry and stuff like that, and just be a really good idea. But in all reality, she wants her to work there so this way she can keep out of trouble, which I don't really understand because the only thing that she did was that one thing that got her expelled. But other than that, she actually hasn't gotten in any trouble. She didn't lie, which is not cool about where she was at, some sort of fundraiser or a bar or something like that, but she's over the age of 21. This was for a good cause, so you're trying to make her out to seem like she is this rebel without a cause, but I'm like, she hasn't really done anything yet. So, what's the point of that they're giving her this internship? And I do like how Maxie did kind of shut that down at one point. Like, I'm not, because she didn't seem like she was too happy about it. And Maxie was like, there's other interns, other people that would really want this job working at Deception fashion suits and stuff like that. I'm not just going to give her this job if she doesn't want it. I'm glad. And she does sit there and talk to Gio about it for some odd reason. I don't understand why she came to Gio to, get his opinion on it. All he said was, hey, you know what? Maybe you may like working with your family. That was it. The conversation with Dante and Cody was more about Sam not finding closure, even though he knows that how she got killed off, it doesn't do anything. And then they start talking about Brooklyn, and he Cody's like, you should tell Lulu. Have you ever thought about telling Lulu about that summer or whatever when you fell in love with Brooklyn? And I'm kind of just like, why? I mean, why? They're not married or anything like that. They're not in a relationship, and you know, he didn't know about her pregnancy or anything like that, so it's not really much to sit there and tell. But of course, Cody knows the truth, and Cody's like, well, what if something did come from that one night of passion or whatever? And of course, you see Gio just walk on in with Emma. Um, Now, while Lulu's not there looking for stuff from Martin, if he has some sort of contacts with Valentine, where is his last address, anything like that, she's searching through, and of course, Marty comes in there. Maxie tries to stall. She drops some stuff on the. She drops some of his papers on the floor, and long story short, she finds out from the papers that Dante is the father of a child that he doesn't know about. So now she's looking at that whole thing. Um, Sucks. Because now, well, I mean, she knows and he doesn't even know. Of course, this is, I mean, I've said this over and over again as far as the whole trifling thing goes. But, yeah. Sasha has just been on one. Oh my lord, this woman has been on one. So she's thinking about the deal with Sidwell. Jason comes in, and Jason's like, yo, step away from her. He starts yelling. Then he escorts him out at gunpoint. And, Sasha's like, no, don't do that, Jason. What are you doing? Don't do that. I'm like, boo, you're not the only person that lives here, okay? This is a very dangerous man, and there are other people in his house that does live here. So if he has to sit there and take out a dangerous criminal outside from the property where he just walked on in, um, you should probably just keep your goddamn mouth shut, because it's not just about you. Seriously? Of course, he walks him out, and he has the gun to him, and he's like, hey, listen, did you firebomb Sonny's place? He's like, no. Listen, you gave me my diamonds back. I have no qualms with you or Sonny. He answers his questions. Anna comes in there, and Sitwell leaves. And of course, Jason knew about the surveillance. Um, when he was walking, Sitwell, he was like, "No, I wasn't going to do anything. I just want to sit there and ask him some questions." And he believes him. He believes that Sitwell did not firebomb Sonny's place. And I'm also just like, he could have just told you what he would, you know. He had a gun pointed to him. He could have just sat there and said anything. It doesn't mean he was telling the truth. But also, Anna wants to sit there and make sure he didn't do anything because, you still have the whole, you know, missing body thing that apparently you can you can seriously charge somebody for murder with no body. I don't understand how that works, but okay, sure, whatever. Um, Nina, Carly, and Willow. They all meet up. Willow tells both of them, I'm taking the kids and we're living with Drew. And of course, at this point, Carly's like hell to the no. Michael is still recuperating. Um, you know, don't do this right now. Willow's like, listen, I'm not asking for permission. I'm just giving you a heads up. And of course, at this point, Carly's like, oh, if you do that, this is going to be war. And at first, I was like, Carly, if you don't calm your ass down. But Willow, Willow's backed up on Nina. Nina plays good cop. Carly plays bad cop. Willow leaves, and it turns out that was part of the whole plan in general. So that was interesting. Of course, they're doing this whole thing to take down the big bad Drew and blah 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 blah. But I will sit there and say it's interesting Nina and Carly working together. See, the thing is, most people don't know. Some people don't know that Cynthia Watros and Laura Wright are friends in real life. They also played opposites of each other on another show. Can't remember the name, but Cindy Watros was known for her epic role as Annie Dutton, which I've seen some clips, and I'm like, listen, let me tell you something. I'll type in Annie Dutton. Okay? If you think if you think Nina's crazy, uh, Annie Dutton is on a whole nother level. Okay, I saw clips of that chick. Chick is nuts. Um, yeah, I think that's pretty much about it. No, that's not it. Because after Jason pretty much kind of takes out the trash in a sense, I do like Sitwell. I will sit there and say as much. I do like Sitwell. I hope that they don't sit there and run his character into the ground like they did with Cyrus. But after that, Tracy comes in, and Tracy's being Tracy pretty much, and of course Sasha's being defensive. This is my baby, blah 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 blah. This, that, and the third. Um, There's one point Sasha's like, 1 minute you're sitting there pretty much telling me my place as far as just being a help in the staff. Next minute you're sitting there saying, oh, well, you're family now because you have a Quartermain baby. So it's like, well, which one is it? But, Tracy gets real with her. And, she talks about accepting your reality. Men going after her for her money. She accepted that. And she wound up meeting the quote unquote great love of her life, which is I'm just I'm never going to be on board with that. I'm never going to buy that. Um, but she's like, hey, listen, the family could be here for you. You'd be surprised how supportive we can be, and you don't have to do this alone. You don't have to, because she keeps on saying, I want to raise the baby on my own. I want to raise my baby on my own, which is I have so many problems with that. Um, I have problems with that just because it's like, what happens if Michael decides to change his mind and he wants to be a part of that child's life? What are you just going to be this selfish POS? It's just like, I'm going to do what I want to do because apparently this is just my baby alone. Um, anyway, Tracy gave her some words of wisdom. She walks away. And guess what Sasha does? If you didn't think that she was infuriating enough, she decides to call Sitwell, you know, the guy who tied her up and placed a bunch of explosives to blow her ass up. She's like, hey, is that offer still on the table? Cool, I'll take the money. A lot of my friends, but I'll sit there and be all snarky and witchy to Jason, who's just trying to help. Because that's the new direction that the writers decided to go with her. Used to be a term I used to use for that. I haven't used it in a while. I think it's called character assassination. That seems about right. Anyway, I think that is the gist of the episode. There might have been some stuff I missed here or there, but that is the just the episode. Now, I'm not going to be streaming tonight, but I will be streaming with Kyrie's tomorrow. If I have some time in the day and I'm able to be somewhat of a responsible adult and like not wake up around 1, um, and I get done with most of the soap operas before it's time at some point, I may decide to do a quick live. I'm not too sure, but I'm gonna try. 5 soap operas now, so it's 6 if I'm counting Hollyoaks, but American soaps 5. So it's I may make a separate video just to kind of address some of the schedule change, but long story short, I'm always still going to be doing live streams, so that's not going to go away. It just depends on the day, time I get home, and yeah, well, that's pretty much about it. Anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I'll see you in the next video.